and welcome to your Astrological Vibrations for Friday, April 21st, 2017 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi, and our energy mantra for today is I nurture my production prowess. And today we definitely have some shift going on. I do want to mention we have the sun officially in Taurus. That sun today is moving through 1 degree. We're still very new in this, into the 2-degree range. And we just had Pluto going retrograde. So through this Pluto retrograde process all the way into September, all the way through most of September, we're working on that root chakra energy. And I think that's going to be a part of what comes through today. So just reminding you of that. We have another shift happening today. We have Mars, the planet of action, the planet of potential aggression, the planet that attunes us to action and helps move us. We have that moving into Gemini. So Gemini is a sign of communication. It is ruled by Mercury. So we're in a Mercury retrograde, just to remind you. But having Mars in Gemini is going to be a really interesting connection, a really interesting transit, I believe, especially as it's happening in the beginning while Mercury is retrograde. So I have a few different messages that are coming through about Mars in Gemini. First, I want to just mention, anytime a planet shifts, it goes through that 0-degree energy. And so that 0-degree energy initially can be like, what am I? Who am I? It's kind of like, the image is in my head, but I can't get the words for it. It's kind of like being in the in-between state. It's the circle energy. It's that 0 energy. And that's that energy where spirit comes in and blends and melds with earth. So it's this place of the all that is, the wholeness of the all that is, but it can be a little wonky for us. It can kind of be like, the picture I'm getting is like floating in amniotic fluid, or, you know, in those little bubbles. Pods, they have those pods where you go in and there's no sound and there's no light and you just kind of float. That's kind of that 0-degree energy. So if you don't feel this initially, that's okay. This is what's coming in and this is what we're going to be working on. So Mars, action, how we're taking action. Mars in Gemini could definitely light up our taking action through our communication, through talking to others, talking to ourselves, through thinking. Now, I want to remind you that, I don't want to say being in control of your thoughts, but being aware of your thoughts and being focused with your thoughts is a really important thing through this transit. Your thoughts are going to light up what kind of direction your action is taking. And we want to nurture your production prowess. And part of your production prowess is noticing what's going on with your mind. Are you paying more attention to your dreams than you are paying attention to your fears? This is going to be something to monitor. Now, Gemini is a sign that has, you know, good twin, bad twin. You know, it's one of those signs that brings forth the idea of duality. Now, we can always swing to one side of a polarity or another, but Abraham always says, it's just one stick. It's just one stick. Which way are you going to lean? So it's always, you know, a good thing to notice where you're leaning and keep bringing it back to the direction of the stick that's taking your aim into your dreams. So that's number 1 that I'm feeling with Mars and Gemini. Another thing, and I love the way this came through, don't get your head so fluffed that you forget that focus energy. Your head may try to take control of this process through this energy. The mind is an important part of a united process of your personal oneness. So if you find yourself getting head fluffed and getting really excited about braining stuff, this is an opportunity to remind yourself, okay, I've also got to feel my way through. And again, what am I focusing on when I'm going through this brain process? You don't have to figure everything out. And that's coming from me, a Gemini rising, Sagittarius. There's nothing I like better than figuring it all out. But I've found there is actually something I like better than figuring it all out. I like getting curious about things, which means I don't have to have it figured out. I can keep being curious and keep seeing if there's something else and letting myself be guided by the fun and the playful curiosity. And that is the final point about Mars in Gemini. Gemini is a sign that really does like fun and play and laughter. Gemini can be a bit of the trickster because it wants to make people laugh. Mercury wants to make people laugh. It can be mischievous, and sometimes Mercury doesn't give us the best jokes. You know, sometimes we're like, seriously, Mercury, like, can you get my computer to start working? Can we just stop this? But that's the thing, is getting passionate about fun and your connection to fun with this transit. Are you taking time to take action for fun, to make yourself laugh? So this to me is a great time to get connected to the fun vibration with Mars and Gemini. Now, this is also going to serve because coming down the line, hopping down the rabbit path, I don't know, the cottontail that hops down the bunny trail, that's it, the bunny trail. Hopping on down, we have the North Node preparing, it's not really planning, it just does it, to move into Leo in May, near the beginning of May. And that is going to enhance the importance of the fun vibration. But right now, Mars and Gemini is giving us like a little preview and be like, are you ready to have fun? Are you ready to laugh? And one of the final things I want to say with this and Gemini energy is that energy of connection and laughter. Coming into this, one last little thing. I feel like when we recognize our similarity, instead of being in that duality state where like, we are different, we are so different, when we can recognize our similarities, then we're more able to laugh at things. Then we're in that energy of connection. And that's one other thing about Gemini energy. Gemini energy loves to make the connection. Gemini energy, it's the twins. It loves to twin things. So this is an opportunity to see, where is this thing twinning me? And how do I align with my dreams from whatever this thing that's twinning me with? And how do I have fun with this thing? So you can really use this to nurture your personal production process, because I guarantee when you're having fun, then you're more like in alignment with your soul and getting aligned with that passion, that soul fire, and moving you along forward. Okay, so there's that. Just spent a lot of time talking about that, but it felt really important. So we have one other big thing that's happening today. We have Venus squaring Saturn, which is kind of the opposite of this. This is kind of the opposite of fun. Venus is in Pisces. It is finishing up in Pisces. It is squaring Saturn, which is retrograde. However, oh, look at these cards. These cards are so good. To me, this is helping shake loose some of these old things, some of these tower moments, some of these places where our ego is still holding on to this conditioning of I'm not worth it, I'm not good enough, I never was good enough, I wasn't good enough in Atlantis. So even though we have this transit where it's coming in for the fun, we have some of this to shake ourselves out of. So if you are feeling tension move through you today, this is a really good opportunity to look, where are you still holding yourself outside of the soul fire, of the soul passion, because of these beliefs. Saturn retrograde in Sagittarius. What are your beliefs that are holding you back? This is a great time to look. And a lot of times we will blame it on something else. We will blame it, the money's holding me back. This person's holding me back. The gate's open. You are the master of your life. And if you're not, then this is an opportunity to remember you can be the master of your life, and you can decide to step into that authority. And you can decide, don't scratch up the carpet on camera. You can decide, you can make your own decisions, as I tell my cat that she can't do that. But you can make your own decisions for your life. You can come into that level of authority. And Saturn really is about like knowing yourself and showing up for yourself and taking that responsibility for yourself. And Venus is like, do you know your worth yet? Do you recognize yet you are the result of the love of millions? How could you be anything less than divine love? Okay, so that's the other thing. That's the other major thing. But it's not done yet. There's so much going on today. We're going to have the moon. Let me mention the moon doing this thing first. So the moon's going to finish up in Aquarius. The moon's going to meet up with Uranus. The moon's going to meet up with Saturn. The moon's going to meet up with Mercury. Stop scratching the carpet. The moon's going to do all those things in Aquarius before 12:45 a.m. or p.m. Pacific time. So before noon-ish Pacific time. And through those connections, our vibration is being shifted. I especially am being drawn to the moon Aquarius connecting to Mercury, newly back in Aries, still 29 degrees, holding on to that final master degree. But again, igniting the passion within your vibration and letting that drive you forward, letting your passion continue to move you and pull you forward rather than the fears, rather than these old projections that we hold on to. I've got this card, projections. It's like, let it go. So many of us hold on to those projections, and it's like, no, let it go. Take a leap of faith. Let's take some action. So we do have those connections happening. The moon connecting to Saturn. My hope is that will be liberating some of those old beliefs, some of those old projections. And again, that connection to Uranus may also do the same thing. So as the moon finishes up in Aquarius, we have that support. Moon shifting into Pisces. So Sun in Taurus, Moon in Pisces, Mars offline. You may feel a little bit quiet and roly-poly, kind of like a cat, take me to bed, pet me, feed me kind of energy. But as that moon shifts into Pisces, this is a long one, sorry, there's so much stuff. The moon shifting into Pisces, that moon is going to square Mars newly in Taurus, and it's also going to connect with the nodes. We have the nodes at 1 degree in Virgo and Pisces, and so we've got some of this mutable T-square, Mars in Gemini, and then Virgo, Pisces energy with the moon and the nodes happening. Now again, this may be another opportunity for karmic energy to come up and be replaced. Yeah, why not? Be released is what I wanted to say, but be replaced by this direction of fun. Recognizing this karmic stuff may be this old stuff that you're holding on to, these old projections that you're holding on to. And I'm going to introduce my Abraham card at this time. I can always tell a different story or a different financial abundance story, but this is about anything. You can always tell a new story in your life. Are you holding on to those old stories of I'm not good enough, this happened in the past, so it's going to happen again kind of thing going on? You can shift this up. You can release this. You can replace this. Now, I'm not a fake it till you make it person. I do not believe in faking it till you make it. I do believe that things do need to be processed. So it's asking yourself, have I processed this enough? Have I seen what I need to see? What is my lesson from it? Going back to the questions from a few weeks ago. What's the joy? What's the good? What's the lesson? And then being able to release that. My feeling is this connection will be able to help us. But don't get head fluffed about it. Like, have I found out everything? Okay, accept what you found out now by asking yourself those questions and then let it go. You gotta let it go. I hear Nikki in my head saying that. You gotta let it go. Let it go so you can take this leap of faith, so you can trust. Moon in Pisces is a very mystical energy, and as we bring that into the Taurus level, magic and miracles can happen on this Earth planet. We finish up the day with the sun and the moon connecting. So again, you definitely may feel kind of like a lazy cat, and I support the lazy catness. All right, speaking of cat, there is a lion on here, and the card from the Sacred Creator is Fierce Serenity. And I read a part of this, and I was like, oh, this is so good. Where was it in here? Okay. I like this part. I don't think this is it. When you stand up for yourself in a peaceful, loving way, you are being fierce. When you make decisions based on the quiet longings of your soul, or that soul fire and passion, you are being fierce. When you make your person and your integrity non-negotiable, you are being fierce. Let's see. I really read a part and I was like, oh my god, oh, here this is. Every creator goes through moments that have the potential to shake their serenity. Now is the time to get yourself so deeply rooted in your own truth that you become a grounding force not only for yourself but for others too. There's that Pluto retrograde energy pulling us in, being the grounded force, not getting sucked up into the head fluffiness that can deviate us from our path. You know what feels good for your soul. It's up to you to have the strength to honor that, to have the fierceness to honor that. This is a time for self-mastery, understanding, patience, self-control, Power is not found by domineering or asserting control over others or a situation. Instead, you will find your quiet strength in joyful cooperation and learning to overcome challenges. The core archetype of this card is that of the peaceful warrior. It calls out to the gentle souls who command respect just by standing in their own essence and power, and by telling the story of your life that you want to tell, that you want to live. Nurturing your production prowess, being fierce about your prowess, having fun, being passionate about fun, being passionate about communicating your personal energy. It's up to us through this energy, through these transits, to step into this energy. And my hope is that I can help guide you in and through this, because this all just feels really important. So that being said, enough today. Tell a new story. Let's take a leap of faith. Book a reading if you want to dive deeper into your own personal chart, and I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.